I think we've grown a lot as individuals, and that is kind of the most important thing for our relationship is that we continue to grow as individuals, because if I'm growing, and even if we're not necessarily growing in the same departments or areas or whatever, if I'm growing and she's stagnant for forever, and like it's just like, oh boy, like it's fine if you're not perfect, but like I want you to like
should always be striving.
Striving to like be the best you and everything. I don't need you to change. I just want you to want the best things for yourself.
Yeah.
And so like when that she is that way, and that we've both seen one another grow so much, I think it's easier to grow together, because it's hard to grow as a couple if only one of you is like growing as an individual.
Yeah.
I think that's the succinct way to say it.
Yeah,
because I think that's like an interesting, really interesting that you say that, because I think part of it is like growing almost like parallel, right? Like because you're two different people, so so just growing and changing together, and like that's not the woman I married. Like, why would you want to still be with the person that you married?
Yeah.
You're completely different people.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, the elements and like basic like foundation of your personality is still the same, but you are constantly striving to be a better person.
Exactly.
If we went on a double date with ourselves years ago, I don't know how much we would.
I would have hated it. I would have hated it.
I don't know if we would. Like
No, me even, I don't know, honestly, me even 5 years ago, I'm like, ugh, that person was very different, but in a good way. And something
There's
that
parts I like about that
You mean
person.
within the context
also,
of the relationship?
I mean, just me and myself.
I just mean myself.
Okay, myself.
okay.
We always felt
great about each other,
Oh, that's a weird thing, because I always felt like I had a real Disney complex and thought things were head over heels at first, and that's the way it works, and if that's not the case, then you don't have anything real. And with Ariel, because we started as friends, there wasn't really that head over heels thing, because we even if we like each other, there was more of a almost off limits. Not in a way where it's like, I really shouldn't. It's like, no, I really shouldn't.
Yeah.
There's a person at the theater. She's sweet. We like each other. We're friends. We get along.
There was like, no, I shouldn't. I was like, yes.
Yeah. Let me please. So for me, it was like a thing where it's like, really, I really shouldn't, and it's not like a forbidden fruit. It was like, no, really, it's best. There's a lot of people in the city. Just you don't have to mess this up. Which is not something I would have thought of 10 years ago, but at that time when I first moved here and was at the theater, that's
T&M was very important to you. Yeah.
Oh, it is, yeah. But wait, we were going somewhere with that. What was it? No.
Maybe stand up and then
So with Ariel, it just slowly grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, and that is a different.
I'm a grower, not a shower.
Love this person. So it's just I feel like it's unique to every relationship I was ever in that it got stronger as it went on, instead of kind of like flaming out. Which I think it's fine to have that initial I mean, I'm not the authority on anybody's relationship, but I think it's great to have that initial explosion and then find something more. And in a way, you can still have that kind of Disney thing. But it was just, I didn't see it coming for us that it would be that gradual.
Was it like, it's better to be a crock pot than a frying pan or something? Or a fryer?
Well, depends what you're trying to
food
cook,
element.
but-
I think I was in a movie and it was like, you guys are a crackpot. Oh, it was in Mindy Kaling's show, I think.
The Mindy Project?
The Mindy Project, yes. Like her name. Yeah. I think it was like, we're like a crackpot or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to scramble eggs, I think it's better to make them fried.
Wait, have you had
I
crock
didn't even
pot
mean
eggs?
to use that.
Is that a thing?
It's crock pot eggs?
Oh, okay. I would have totally believed you.
Oh, yeah.
My Pepe made crock-pot eggs every night.
36 hours. We were all starving.
Yeah.
He would line
He was a
it.
terribly slow cooker.
The eggs would melt in your mouth.
They were the
One of
most
them
delicious
hatched.
poached eggs.
Terrible.
So I don't. Wait, are you?
Yes.
Because of your attire, you're not from Austin originally.
No.
Neither
I
one of
grew
us
up
are.
in,
You grew up in Boston?
No.
No, I
Oh,
grew
Maryland?
up in West Virginia, Maryland.
Fuck. All right.
Dude, what's your timeline? West Virginia till
12.
12, then
And then
Maryland.
12. All through middle school, high
Okay.
school. And then I went to college in New York, but
Yeah.
I was like, not.
Upstate New York or New York City?
New York City.
Where'd you go?
I went to Brooklyn College. Well, I started at Pace University, and I went to Brooklyn College. Which
Where were you there?
I was there for screenwriting. I started at Pace for acting. Ugh, it was horrible. I got severely depressed. And that's another podcast. Yeah, and then I was just kind of like sick of going to school for acting because I started taking improv classes, and I was like, I'm learning more like from there than I am from my acting classes. And I started like,
fun.
it was a ton of fun. All my friends were now like these late 20 something, and I was like an 18-year-old, like woohoo, like coming on through. So I have like no friends from college. I didn't talk to any of those people barely, and I stopped really going to a lot of my classes, and because I was like out all night with like improv people, you know, because they would go to like bars afterwards and stuff, and I'd sneak in, and then I was like, well, this is stupid for me to go to acting school. Like, I don't care about it. So then I switched to screenwriting because I was like, I'll continue, you know, studying acting outside and then actually learn something. But yeah. So that's where I'm from.
How was the screenwriting?
How was what?
The screenwriting program.
Oh, it's real. I mean, I always tell like people that. Because everyone wants to go to NYU. Who's there? NYU's expensive as shit. Mm-hmm. My brother, who is the smartest guy I know, he went to NYU, and his first job out of NYU, he'd be fine. He has a great job now, but he was working at Starbucks, you know. And it was just like, and there's so many people that went to, you know, paying all this money for NYU and blah blah blah. But Brooklyn College has this amazing film program that has like. I mean, they have so much stuff there. They have like this huge library. It's great. It's way cheaper, and they have a bat like you get this like free gym membership, and they have a pool, and you have like a basketball court, and like it's on this like actual campus. And I'm just like walking around. I'm like, I remember going on my brother's quote campus, which is near like the St. Mark's area. That's where he used to like live. Yeah, and I was just like, this is so much better. There's no like disgusting like ex-rock stars like, you know, and a bunch of like gross college kids. This is like a nice campus.
Nice.
So I always tell people like, don't apply to NYU, apply to Brooklyn College. Like, you'll probably get in. I did, but it's a great program, and people were nice. And I wasn't around like rich kids. Like, even at Pace was the kids. I felt like the kids at Brooklyn College were even better than the kids at Pace. Like, kids at Pace were just
in terms
like,
of acting and writing, or
yeah,
in
and
terms
just
of
in terms of like talking to them, personality wise,
yeah,
it was weird. I don't know. I mean, a lot of the kids at Brooklyn College like were just kind of like normal. I don't know. They were just kind of like your everyday normal kid. A lot of them were from New York City, and they were just kind of like normal kids. And anyway, I remember I liked that more, but technically didn't graduate.
What years were you there?
I was there for 2 years, and then I was at Pace for a year.
What year? Like in time?
Oh, in 2008
Christian calendar
through. Yeah, I started in 2008, and then I guess I moved here in 2008, 2009, 2000. I moved here in 2011.
I don't know when I moved here. I can't keep
don't
track of it.
remember.
I think I moved here.
Well, I guess 3 years from 2008.
I remember everything like it's the 90s and it was like 2008.
Wait, what?
Until
Yeah, I
you
moved
meet,
here in, like,
and then I make
2011.
references to like, oh yeah, I graduated high school in 1996, and like record scratches, and everyone turns, and you know, so
Yeah.
that's why I was like wondering if you were in New York at the same time I was in New York.
Oh,
but I was
We
out
do
of
know,
college and
weirdly
stuff.
know. Well, I don't know.
Do we have a bunch
them.
of weird mutual friends on
Well,
because
because you
Facebook?
know the New York Howl, which I don't even think they're a band anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's
Remember?
right.
And
Oh, my God.
oh man, when I was in middle school, I went to go see the Trachtenberg Family Slideshow Players,
Which is
was
also so
yeah,
funny.
and it was this band that was like
Oh, my God.
a family, and the little girl played drums, and they had like slideshows.
She's awesome now.
And she's really fucking cool now.
God, she's so cool
And
now.
I remember I went with my mom to this concert, and their opening band was this dude named Andrew Katz, who I fell in love with. Like, little, like, 12, 13-year-old Ariel was like, woo! I loved him. I went up to him. I was, like, shaking after the show. He wasn't anyone famous. I remember just being like, I really love you. And I bought his little album. It had, like, 4 or 5 songs on it. And then I remember, because he was also an actor in New York, so I went to visit we were going up to New York already for some reason, and he was doing a play, and I went to that play with my grandma, and we just were my Bubba.
Do you know what play it was?
No, I don't. But I remember it was, like, not a big theater. I don't even remember much. I don't even think he had, like, the starring role. And I waited for him afterwards, and I talked to him afterwards. I just remember, and then my Bubba, because his last name's Katz, my Bubba was like, a nice Jewish boy. He was, like, in his, like, late 20s, Grandma. Anyways,
Your grandma's real fucked up.
I know, she's like, it doesn't matter.
So Andrew Katz was one of the guys that I hung out with in my 20s in New York City. He was like you. You know what I mean? Like, to
at the
me,
same time, I was in love with him.
yeah. Like I was probably at the play she was at.
That's crazy.
The fact that she saw him perform. I found him, by the way, like in
Really?
the world. I'll show you him. He's in Nashville now.
Oh, wow.
He's got a band and stuff like that. I think he's like selling music. It's like so cool that he's still doing music. No, I'm just so happy he's still working in music.
I think
because he disappeared from like he's not a social media person.
Yeah, I thought he might have gone crazy
So
or something.
Yeah.
I was
No,
like,
that
I can't
it
find
seems
him
likely that's a thing.
Yeah.
It was like no, that she's not wrong.
Not Nashville.
No, he's great.
The
but
mountains.
you know, I mean, he's a really good musician to the point where you're kind of like, well, you never know with them.
Yeah, he's probably.
Yeah.
And he did, I remember
Too
my
talented
mom
to be
saying
normal.
like, he doesn't seem. He seems like he'd be a sad person. I remember my mom telling me that. I was like,
I mean, he was really great. He's a great dude. I'm glad to have found him again in the world. But like, just the idea, cause, like when we had this conversation, we were like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then we're like, our worlds were
they were
connected in an
intertwined.
earlier time when it was like we never met each
like
other.
if we
and,
dated, we'd be on like Live with Kelly. They'd be like, "Can you believe they met each other?" You know,
Right,
They do
yeah.
that a lot. If you watch Live with
yeah,
Kelly.
they do that. My husband and I actually have a lot of those too, so that's why I'm always like, oh, it's good.
Wow.
But it's
Yeah.
always funny when I find somebody like here where it's like, wait, no, you know these people? Yeah, so funny. So great. It's such a fun little detail that, I didn't know exactly when you were there. I remembered the story about you
I was
going.
so many
but
years ago.
Yeah, so wild. It is so many
it's
years
weird.
ago. I think of that time with Andrew Katz in like New York and Bowery Poetry Club and that as what some of the people that I meet now who are like in their early 20s, like I'm like, this is theirs. This is what they do.
I see it already. I mean, I see it like in people that are coming up in T&M now and like doing things that I did, like, you know, just attending the same things and starting shows with the same enthusiasm and like it's really cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see that to see lots of people
But
and their journey, which is again why what inspired me to get this podcast going, the idea of the journey and like all the different things, and it's like you were figuring out how you wanted to do that by seeing this show.
Yeah.
And I mean the Trachtenberg Family Players, what
they're
a
great.
performance that could inspire you to become an artist
I know.
for your whole life.
Exactly, just embrace what you want to do.
Oh my god, because they're a whole family that would travel together as a family,
And all their songs
to
were written
perform.
about the slideshows. So they'd go to these like yard sales and flea markets, find slideshows. So they'd be singing, and they would have the slideshow behind them whatever was inspiring. So it'd be like
that's awful trippy way to approach music with a family.
It was so and the mom designed their, because they would also have like cool, cute little costumes. I remember, and the mom's job was like designing that and running the slideshow and stuff. And the dad played guitar and piano, and then the little girl would play drums. And sometimes the dad would be he'd be like, he's so friendly, and he'd be like talking to the audience, and the little girl would just go. Because, she was like a 10-year-old being like, Dad! And then you'd be like, whoa, okay. So it was just so cool being like, you're watching this like family, and the little girl was like, bump! Like, she was like, come on, Dad! Like a 10-year-old. It was so cute. And I remember they sold the little girl